We got the Sonics. These guys have shown up. Our contender teams that have just absolutely been so dominant so far.
Friday when we got there and had to play setup scrims, like they actually overall went really poorly with like a lot of little mistakes just because we were so tired. Like we had just gotten off the plane the same day. Everybody was really exhausted. So we knew that like the scrims wouldn't really be that good because of that, but also we didn't really let it affect our confidence. Like we didn't really read into it too much. We knew that we would do well going into the next day, like once we were more rested and everything. We didn't win any games on day one, but we did a really great job of just maximizing the kills we were getting. We weren't really like scared to take fights with the MPL teams, and honestly, we were just making decisions like really quickly. We beat Endemic on a wrap in the first game, where basically, you know, us making the decision very quickly was the difference between us getting that spot and not getting it, as it often is in like high-level PUBG. So that kind of gave us confidence to like fight the MPL teams that we usually don't play against, who are obviously better than our usual competition. All of the MPL teams are really good. We're not really like scared to take on anyone, but I would say like us going into the tournament knowing that Lazarus and C9, which are both really great teams, were in our group, we had to actually like change our drop spots or be ready to modify those to some degree, just because Lazarus and C9 drop where we drop, which is, you know, Pachinki and Hacienda. So we put a lot of preparation into switching drop spots. We knew that SSG, a really good MPL team, wasn't in our group. So we ended up taking Rozhawk and looked at like how they play it and how, you know, different teams from different regions play it. We obviously felt really good about the finals after placing first in the group. But we also knew that the finals is kind of a new animal in terms of just the amount of like pressure that was there, and the lobby as well. You know, obviously in the group stage, half of your lobby is contender teams. In the final, it's mostly an MPL lobby. There are some contender teams here and there, and some, you know, good teams like Player One Esports, really great team that didn't make it. But for the most part, everyone in the finals is, you know, either coming off of a really good day to get themselves in, or like is a very well-established MPL team. Tiggleton's just really like an overall good player. He's an excellent fragger, obviously, as the statistics show, but Tig like has a really unique ability to kind of make his own solo plays and just make like something out of nothing oftentimes. And so he's, you know, he's very good at just kind of like impacting team fights from like, you know, maybe like a flank or an anchor spot, something like that. But he played really well like overall. His game, which was the second game of the finals, on the military island, was really huge. That we basically took a team fight against SSG and Accelerate. We got out of it with like 7 kills, which was already a good game for us. And Tig ended up getting like a top 4 and 2 more kills on Ghost, and ended up turning that to like a really good game. So I think like Tig just has a lot of unique ability to see the game in terms of, you know, what he can do from an individual positioning perspective. We thought we could like get top 5 in that kind of lobby. Like we feel like we're a pretty like fundamentally good team with like a lot of good fighting ability. We ended up getting 5th, which met our goal, so we felt good about that. But we also felt somewhat disappointed too at the same time, because we did feel like, you know, if we would have cleaned up some of the mistakes that we made at different parts of the tournament, like we could have done way better. Like if we were able to get out of these early fights we took more often with more players up, we could have, you know, done better later in the game and maybe like actually won some games. I think it just comes with like the experience. I think playing at Royale and playing well at Royale was like a really valuable experience from the team. As for just like an MPLC confidence booster, I would say that like we were always really confident playing MPLC. Like that's kind of the main point of our team, is just being very confident and taking as much control as possible from MPLC teams. I really think this just helped us like know, you know, with evidence that we can replicate that against better teams who are like more likely to punish you for mistakes or just, you know, splitting up, things like that. So I think it works really well for us in terms of going into relegation. I think for the rest of MPLC though, it's about the same, really. Tiggleton is the X factor of the team. He's really good at just making plays and getting openings out of nothing. Tony's Mr. Consistent. He has a lot of experience and performs really well under pressure. Keenan is kind of the energy of the team. He's very loud and very vocal about, everything he thinks. And I'm the in-game leader. I do a lot of the strategic stuff for the team and just direct everyone on all of the major decisions in the game. Yeah, so we got to the airport and long story short, connecting flight delayed, the weather, missing our next flight. And we spent like 10 hours at the airport, 2-hour drive, Philadelphia to Harrisburg, a good team building experience for sure.